1 second.
Folks, Black Bull Markets have 10 merch packs to give away to clients who sign up before the end of the year, including one of these trader keys. So to go in the draw, all you need to do is sign up with the link below this video or in the podcast description, and you'll go in the draw to win. It's that simple. And remember, folks, when you sign up to Black Bull Markets through the Trading Nut link below, you're going to get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000 on your first deposit. All you need to do is click the link in the description below the video or the podcast.
Yeah, don't do that. Sorry about that. I had to sort something out. All right, so German 40. Okay, so where are we at today? What do you guys reckon? Are you going up or down? Yeah, it's caught in this range. There's no real news. That's the problem. We've got over here Forex Factory. So yeah, we've got nothing. Haven't really got anything to deal with. So no real catalyst. I'm bullish overall. I really think that we're just going to continue pushing into the first 2 months. I reckon we've got a good chance to just keep on going up. We've got corporate earnings starting on Friday, so I would expect as usual. There's no real headlines. No real headlines. We've got corporate earnings coming up for the US. We know German market is highly correlated, like 80% correlated with the US market. Doesn't mean that it needs to follow, but we got corporate earnings starting Friday. The big seven, the ones that really going to sort of make up, like the big seven here, make up like 48% of NAS. When these guys start giving their earning expectations, this is where we can start to see NAS really push as well. And that will probably German will piggyback off of it. Tesla is probably the least likely to post decent earnings, but Microsoft, Amazon, Apple maybe, but Nvidia definitely will post good earnings. So I think that's going to have a real boost, but I don't think a lot of them until like January 31st. But corporate earnings do start on this Friday. So it can be a bit of a choppiness going. A lot of the time, a good year starts with a good January. So this month for Nvidia is really still just kind of in no man's land, where we had that pullback, which is good. I really think we had needed that pullback, and now we're recovering a lot of the losses so far. And if this starts pushing up, and I do think we're going to make new highs and just continue this trend on this AI rally, I think Germany's going to follow suit. It's just a little bit more slower because the European economy is a little bit more suspect, but I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be overall bullish and look for any opportunity that anytime we do get a decent pullback or back to a decent support, until the world actually officially tips into global recession and they really start cutting interest rates rapidly, I wouldn't expect this to really overly correct too much. So I'm still going to be bullish, just a little bit careful with the timing, of course, as we're scalping. Kind of the long-term long-term trend is not as important when we're scalping in these sessions. Definitely not as much as if you're like investing or buying and holding or swing trading. So we've got to be careful in case the session is bearish. But overall, I'd prefer to be taking longs here. Cool. Joe, you think it's going down? Back seat on the demo. Yeah, you explained why. Yeah, that's all good, mate. Buy to sell, Tom, you think? Yeah, cool. Let's see. We're just caught in the range right now, so it's kind of could go anywhere. We did have a little bit of a movement, bit of a spike. Asian session was pretty good. Moved 71 pips. And that did do this little drop, which basically the fast move was the false move, recovered all the way, and then since it's just been going sideways. I would say that if we can at least break above. Yeah, man, I don't know about this area yet, so we really need to wait another 10 minutes for the London Open to show its hand. But let's put some levels in. So I've kind of cleaned up the chart, removed a lot. We've got our sessions. We've got our session highs, lows. I would say we've got this clean area above. If we can finally break down, I wouldn't mind seeing a bit of a sweep into these areas, and especially looking for a reaction from probably around this area. I would say that if we could break this time underneath 16,620, I don't think this will hold. So if we are going to break down, I'd be looking for longs from around this area. So we'll see, though. We'll see what's going to happen. Brett reacted off a seller's trap there in the Asian. Seller's trap. Yeah, it's not clean. I don't think tomorrow as well. I don't think the market conditions for London Open are going to be very good when you've got CPI around the corner. But today, I think we should get a good move. I'm pretty optimistic today. It's just got to see which way I want to put the risk on. Oh, I see there's other comments. HaydosFx. Yeah, good, mate. Thinkverse, shout out. Good one. What's my thoughts on gold? Gold, I don't really trade this in London session. And I trade this because of the more in the US session. So I don't really want to do too much analysis on gold. A lot of the time, gold, this is the pink areas, which is like this London bit before the New York session starts. And you can really see how the better session is New York session most of the time. So the London session, a lot of the time, we just get, especially in the early parts, we're only going to be here for like, an hour, 2 hours or so. A lot of the time, it just ranges. So ultimately, though, long term, I'm bullish. I think 2000 is the new floor for gold. I really just think we're just going to eventually bide our time. At the moment, the US dollar is having a bit of a recovery. But if CPI comes out as a lower print, then I think we just see gold continue being bullish, but I'll wait for CPI tomorrow. Yeah. Asian session as well. It's a bit annoying for gold. Okay, so 4 hour. We're really just in the middle of stuff. We've got a bit of supply up here. We've got a bit of demand down there. And then we're just kind of bang right in the middle of this area. So really, someone come on here and tell me exactly where it's going to go. And you're going to get so many different opinions because it can go anywhere. And I guess that's what makes a market, is that you get all these people look at the same area and have different ideas. And that's what you need. You need buyers to sell to, sellers to buy to. So they need to make a market that looks appealing for both. If it was just looking extremely bullish, then why wouldn't you just buy? But at the moment, looks like market's hesitating, waiting for something. Definitely not as a clear read as yesterday. Yesterday, I had a clean idea. Just had to wait for it to do its pullback. Today, I'd imagine that if we're going to stay in this range, if we get the right price action, if we get like a fake out above here and then coming back down, I'll look to trade to the bottom of this range, which would be about a 40 pip. I think that could be an idea. 3 hour. Yeah, I see this as resistance, eh? I think these are your two zones. Selling from NY Asia high if there's price action. Yeah, I got this. I think the same thing, Jim. But I've got to wait 5 minutes for the London Open. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to go turn the lights off. Now it's not as dark outside. Gosh, I think it's pushing early. I wonder if it's just going to explode up. NAS is giving a bit of a push as well. As soon as Euro opened in this candle, this one here, it's just been bullish since. Hey, how are you? That's good, mate. What are your thoughts today? Oh yeah, we're gonna go. Oh, Da Nang, nice. Yeah, yeah. Met Sarah there. Met Sarah in Malaysia. Like she went when she was in when I was back in Oz and she was in the UK. It was like the halfway point. Have you been before? Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's really nice there. Mm. Langkawi is nice in Malaysia as well. If you're going to go that side. Mm. Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful there. Mm. Here's London Open now, and I want to trade this range. I'm mindful. I want to trade this clean area. I'm not. I don't really see an entry the way I like it. But I'm bullish. I've been bullish on stocks for a while. It's just about trying to get the entries. Um, I'm mindful of the New York high, given a reaction. And unless we're in here, I don't really like. Unless we're in at the bottom of this range, I don't want to trade anywhere inside of here. But this was too early for me because this was 6:45. So yeah, well early. And if it just powers straight up, it's kind of sucky. If I don't really want to plan counter trend. Is anyone in this at the moment? This bullish move? Oh, the wrong way. Hmm. Yeah, we'll see. This is a reaction area. I've got a little visitor. Hold on. Okay. It's a strong move though. Just from as soon as Frankfurt opened, 77 pips. It's moved. These early moves are a bit annoying, aren't they? Starting the streams around like for London Open. German's been doing some nice little moves before for the German Open. If we can create a support or even a resistance around here, like either form a support and then push up, failing a buyer's trap, then we can look for that as being a high low to keep on pushing into this clean range, or creating a resistance up here, but then breaking it. Can also give a move for about 30 pips. I'm careful not to get caught up into anything here. If it just pushes straight up, then I won't have anything because I didn't get a clean entry. Oh, Alan, you in? Good one. You'd have to wonder with all this Boeing news that if that's going to be good for Airbus as their competitor. And Airbus is on the German stock exchange. Okay. Yeah, just got to have a bias, huh? Just got to. German's usually good enough that you can get both ways. Oh, sorry, man. I was just checking Airbus. Compared with Boeing. Airbus stopped rising. Sorry, man. Go and draw your lines. Mm-hmm. So I flipped all chart views so I can watch multiple time frames. All right, so 3 minutes create like a little resistance. Do we trust that resistance? Closing above, NY high. So I'm just watching to see how this high is formed. If we can get a pullback, I'm wondering if this is the trend's going to continue. But if we can get a pullback, this will be where it's make or break. It's either going to be a buyer's trap, or we're going to be able to go and extend and create new highs and push for another 40 pips from here up to here. Oh, I just noticed. Maybe that's why it's really confusing on this other one. It's not drawing any of my annotations. Yeah, sorry about that. Gosh, watching on the Trading Nut stream, you weren't able to see any of the drawings. There we go. That's why it looks awful. What are we at? 20, 34, 100 pips. Holy man. Jesus. It's one of those days with CPI around the corner that I think you've got a lot of volatility and you've got a lot of volume, but it's kind of it's like hitting the accelerator and the brake at the same time. Okay, watching carefully this high. Are you in gold? Are you trading gold? Now, if we close inside of the structure, I don't see why it can't continue to 2039. All right, so is this? It's either going to be creating a higher low now to continue pushing up into this range, or it's going to be a buyer's trap. And the buyer's trap will probably be around this area, if this was a fake out. So I'm kind of keen to buy, even though we're at this range. But what I think I'll wait for is just whether this is going to be a buyer's trap or not. Just going to see how it reacts back at this level again. So check if there's any headlines. Financial juice, anything that's crept up. Nothing scheduled, but when the media outlets open, nothing yet. Do you see the drama about the SEC with Bitcoin? They they're waiting to see if a Bitcoin spot exchange is approved or not. And if it does, you can imagine that they're going to have ETFs where you can trade Bitcoin, and it's going to pump a lot of money into it. So you'd expect that the price of Bitcoin just rallies, or cryptos and like overall will probably benefit pretty well from it. So everyone's waiting for this decision. And then they're making a decision today. And then last night, on their Twitter feed, they announced that it got approved, and the price of Bitcoin jumped up like $3,000. And then a few minutes later, they said that was false and that their account had been hacked, and that's wasn't that no decision's been made. So then it crumbled like $6,000. That's huge volatility. And some people were lost as well. They were like, this is it here. Yeah, well, you can imagine that before that decision is made as well, people that work at the SEC and people that are in the know who would get a little nudge just beforehand. But yeah. Yeah, the public defender, doesn't it? Yeah. 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 You get ones that are on far less than that as well. The average take home would be like 80K, but they would have like multi millionaires. Yeah. Sus. All right. 3 minutes come to a close, creating this little support. I'm going to take a little crack at this one. I am concerned it's going to be a buyer's trap here. So how this reacts is crucial. So if this is breaking underneath here, then get out. But we can, if this is just a reaction from these areas and this is just a higher low, then expect to see this close above and we just continue to push. So I'm in this one. Which area? Oh, the fair value area. Yeah. Yeah. So which is it going to go? Is it going to go up to down or down to up? So like if this is failing here, get out. But I'm in this one to try get up to about 40 pips. Or it could be. It could be. And this, like the way the market's set up is that it's you're gonna have different eyes. Yeah, you just gotta watch a higher time frame trend or what you believe the move is gonna be. I can see a case for this to be a seller's trap. Hence risk is gonna be you're gonna be pretty quick on the trigger to manage this one. But I do think there's also a case that we could be bullish. Either way, whatever happens with this one, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Mm-hmm. I can hear Maddie behind me. Maybe she's telling me this is a bad idea. Baby intuition. Pretty close, yeah. Okay. This next candle is make or break. So if we can do a wick fill and break above here, if it comes back to entry, I might cut it. Yeah, I am, Space Joe. I am. I'm concerned that it is going to be a bit of a seller's trap. A buyer's trap, sorry. It's a tricky area. Okay. Yeah, no good. Get out of this one. So I'll let it take the low of the 15-minute doji, which will be here. But I only want that to be a little test and then push up. Otherwise, there's just like that. If it can just retest the low of that doji and then flip bullish, then that'll be a good sign to hold. But if it breaks this low again, then I'll say sayonara to this trade. But the 15-minute can come back and just take the low of that doji. See if it flips. If it can break its high, then that was a liquidity grab. Oh, didn't like how that closed in the last second for the 3-minute. Tricky area trading this in this like top of the range. Oh, you're in many. Okay, come on. creating a little support, confirmation of support, hopefully. Hopefully this is the support. And just don't want it to sweep these lows. Kind of is a little double bottom here as well. So it could. So I'm not definitely out of the woods. I can see a case still for the sellers. Any reason for gold run? No, I didn't. It's been. I feel like it's been trapped inside this. Like we have been getting some pretty aggressive moves, but the moves have really been short lived. So I think it's just volume sort of building. It's been quite aggressive. Like I was saying, like it's kind of like having the foot on the accelerator and the brake at the same time. Like there's plenty of volatility, and also I think it's still, we haven't really got all the heavy volume coming back yet. Still very early in the year, so it could be a thin market. Come on, just push out of this area. If we can push out of this area and then not do any like sort of a scary pullback, I would look to scale in. But I need to confirm that this is a higher low first and not a lower high. Oh, don't say that. Yeah, we're seeing some good moves on German for the last couple London Opens. At the same time, we've seen gold being pretty quiet. So if gold is moving, I wonder if we're going to have a fairly quiet German session. Come on, if we can get the 15-minute candle closing nice and healthy, that'll be a good start for this. Yeah, so far so good. Oh yeah. Hello teacher thinks going to dump. Oh. Doesn't look like a buyer's trap from here. But what it could do is it could break the highs and then fall from there. But so far, so good. We're nearly at 1-to-1. Yeah. Oh, if it, yeah, that's what that's what it did to me on. Well, actually, it wasn't really. I tried to take a London close trade yesterday on NAS, and the first one didn't work out, and then it pushed up quite a lot higher, to be honest, before it gave it a second chance, and had to wait a long time. Okay, 15 minutes, just about come to a close. Can we close above New York high? Okay, it's the 30-minute candle closing, so this is where it gets dicey. So if this is if this 30-minute, sorry, throat's still recovering from this flu. If this, because the new 30-minute candle opened, careful this isn't going to be a fake out. So I can appreciate that there's going to be a little bit of volatility when the new 30-minute candle opening. I don't want to give this too much time either, because it is a precarious position. It's just the scalping. I just want a quick move. I don't really want to wait around for ages. So yeah, it's taking too long. I'm going to cut this trade. It's taking too long. Oh yeah. There's, yeah. It was taking. German's a good move to. Oh, but you had shorts. Did you say? Yeah. I'll give this a second shot if I want to see it. I want to see it sweep something. To me, this is looking like a failed high now. So that's the bias trap inside of here. So now it should pull back. Now we can get the retest, but I think it needs to come down a little bit lower. like gave it plenty of time. Gave it, a good part of 20 minutes to move and break this high. If it's not going to break this high, then there's no point holding it. Now, if you had a selling bias, that was the perfect area to sell from. Oh, good one. I didn't see it. I didn't have a 5-minute. Oh, you took that as your candle, as your first candle. And then this guy. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, where are you targeting? Oh, don't say, because the market maker will watch. Saying where's the target? Don't. Yeah, what have you done to my screen? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Ali Panwani, can you tell me what topics to cover? Technical analysis. It's just about. I really think it's just looking at the one pair. Look at one pair at the same time. That's your best. That's the best thing. If you stare at it enough, you'll start to pick up the characteristics of that pair. Learn the range. Learn the typical range that moves in a opening session. Like the opening candle for London, the average is around 80 pips. So obviously that's the average. So you're going to have more and less on days. But if you can understand like what a typical range is, it helps you set your targets and just really learn what moves the market, what moves the particular pair. So like for German, obviously it's the top 40 companies. So read a little bit about who are the highest market cap holders of these German 40. If you hear some news and it's one of the big ones like SAP, then that will let there are going to be some days that your bias is going to be a lot easier than others. Understand how interest rates work with it as well for stocks, for indexes, how they're sensitive to monetary policy. But become an expert at one thing. Once you do that, learning price action for anything is actually a lot easier. And just always as well, it's all about risk management. So even at best case, you're still only going to be right. Like, let's say if you're right 50 to 70% of the time, then it's what makes you really profitable is your risk management. And don't get carried away trying to be right every time, because the market's so many different participants. It's impossible to be right. So if you're a perfectionist, you got to cut that out. And then yeah, that's my biggest advice. Just be consistent. Be consistent at the charts each day at the same time. Put some time in, studying it, backtesting it, review your day, and just give it time. Okay, 3-minute closing. Is this going to be a fake support candle? Or is this the pullback before we can make a new high? in the Discord. Okay, I'll have a look later. Oh, do you mean look now? Oh, okay, I'll look at it after. It hit there. Yeah, it hit. Yeah. Pick your chin up, Glenn. You'll be right, mate. we're supporting you. I'll have a look now. Oh, hey, son of a bitch. Yeah. Look, oh, sorry. Far out. I just. Yeah, mate. Yeah. So, I've noticed that. Mine did it sometimes as well, where it puts the price. I thought it was a. Have you got an EA running? You got Magic Keys on? I think it might be Magic Keys. Oh, okay. Yeah, because it really covers the screen, doesn't it? Let me have a little look. I wasn't like I never noticed it for a long time. So I feel like it's a new update to MetaTrader. You're on MT5, aren't you? Yeah, have a little peek. No, it's MT5. Look at this. It's all these prices. Check your settings and then see what's that color, like cyan color or something. Because if you've only got one thing that's that color, you just then you'll know what's causing it. If you turn off trade, no, it's not. It's not foreground. At 5 minutes, looking man, it's what a tricky area. I want to long it. So I don't want to change my bias, but I am concerned this is their resistance. But after being the failed high here, figure that needed to drop back, so there's no point holding it. So it was a good move cutting it. Now, having completed this gap here, is that the 5 minute candle that's kind of picked up liquidity to continue this trend? I still consider this area above tradable. It's the price action that's here that I need to decide whether it's worth putting the risk on or not. Oh, I'm not sure if I saw that before. I was looking at the 30-minute chart and I saw this as a clean candle. This one here. Right. And then when we go to the 5-minute chart, it was just a little bit off my screen. So I never actually investigated that 30-minute candle. But there's actually a bit of a consolidation here. And that's right where we got stuck at. There's a little bit of oversight for mine. Because it's not as clean. It's not as a clean candle as I thought it was. Like this area. Where it's got all these these little sticky area. So I can understand why, if this was a little consolidation that funded that push down, that there's going to be some residual orders here. So that's what led to this. But if we can close inside of there, then I think this is actually going to be a fairly easy move. Fairly easy 25 pip push. All right, here we go, maybe. You want this to hold. If it's going to have a shot at pushing and actually starting the trend higher, this level, we really want it to hold. Do I trade Euro USD, US yen? No, I only trade the German in the mornings, and then I'll play around with gold or NAS in US session. I will do some currency trades, but not often. Come on, German. Push. Come on, break above. So far, so good. Yeah. Yeah, it was that 5-minute candle. What strategy do I primarily trade? It's hard to pigeonhole because it's kind of my own, but I'd say it's support resistance and liquidity. Understanding that price, other than like having a bias and seeing trends, price will move from one key area to another key area. So it's just understanding the price action around those key areas. So it's mix a candle, price action, understanding like how liquidity works, how a market works between buyers and sellers. And then I really like fundamentals too. But the fundamentals really make it. They don't really tell you your timing. The timing for fundamentals is more about having an idea for the future. The technicals is helps with the timing. I like trading market opens. Market opens is where I find fairly predictable price behavior. Fairly predictable. Understand that there's manipulation as well, but you usually get good volume in the first like hour of a market open. You're welcome. I don't really have any thoughts on pound yen. I'm bullish yen for this year. If they actually start to stop talking a big game, like every single time they talk the market up. This I'm talking about the Japanese, like the Bank of Japan and the government. They talk a big game, but that's their way of currency manipulation. They actually, every time it comes to actually changing policy or whatnot, they walk back on their comments. So you're just constantly seeing yen really struggle against other currencies because of their monetary policy. But they are, given how shorted the yen is, it does have the highest potential, like the dark horse for 2024. Pounds is looking good as well. Pounds fairly strong because their economy is like they're kind of still struggling with inflation. But in terms of like actually giving ideas and levels, I haven't looked at that chart for a long time. This level just doesn't want to let go, does it? Once this candle had closed, and then this one here was playing around, it was inside this candle. Oh, is it? Where's FTSE? Oof, look at it. Just up and down, hey. See, gold had the move up 100 pips. So I'm wondering what is moving this. Gold moving up 100 pips. I would say did Dixie drop? Trying to work out if it's the US dollar moving or if it's something else. If it's the US dollar moving, FTSE is very, very sensitive to the US dollar, more sensitive than German. So I'm guessing it's something else. If German and FTSE is moving similar, can't be the US dollar. But then what explains the gold move? US 30 is kind of stuck. NAS is drifting higher. Yeah, yen can be erratic, very volatile. Damn, man, it's going to come all the way back to the entry. Okay, first hour is in, just about 52 pips. So it's a small. We haven't got much volume today. It's definitely one of the smaller ones for this year so far. So far, the volume could come late, but we started the year. Monday was closed, so here's Tuesday. So this is the first day of the year. You can see that the first hour is a massive hour. Then the next day, the Wednesday, first hour is actually pretty quiet, but then the volume came late. This Thursday, decent volume for the first hour, pushed up 83 pips. Then Friday last week, it was a little bit slow, and then it's a bit of a slow week. Then this one, the start of this week, Monday, the first hour moved to 62 pip range. And then we got the second hour of the London Open is much nicer. Then yesterday we got a good hour. Moved 88 pips in the first hour, so a good range. This is the slowest one so far for the year. Now, this doji. Can we create a resistance we can push up? Or let's have a look at the hour candle. Hour candle's looking all right. One thing I'm concerned about is just it's not breaking out of this level. Like this little zone. I want to see something close inside of it for it to be able to push up. As long as it's failing and keeps on rejecting it, eventually the buyers will give up. And then we can just be stuck in this range again. Maybe this is it. The new hour where we get the volume. It's going to secure a little bit. So in case it does fall back into this range. Now I've secured, it can fly. What indicator is that for the session blocks? This is one of the members coded. It's got a few little features that he put on that I like. So we're using his one. But a very similar one is Sessions by Lux Algo, which I think it's open for everyone. This one, Sessions, but sorry, let me change the color scheme. Sessions by Lux Algo, that one. That one's a good one. And just be mindful the way I've got my sessions set up. I really like sessions. I really like having individual sessions as well. So this is my Asian session, and there's a little bit of discrepancy in or not discrepancy. What's the word I'm looking for? What was that? Oh, Dave, you must have been the phone. Okay, a little bit of some people use a different Asian start and finish time. So I know ICT people would use something different. I know Beat the Market Maker will use something different. For me, it's just whenever New York session closes, that's the start of the Asian session. And for me, this yellow area is what I call pre-London. So it's the 2 hours before London session starts. So I've got some people will use part of this will be Asian session still, depends on the person. And then for me, a lot of people use London as the whole London session from London open to London close. But I set my London session to end when New York session starts. So it's a very distinct box. I don't have that overlap. Otherwise, if you do the overlap, I find your session highs and lows get a little bit merged with part of the New York session. So I'll show you if you guys want to check it out, then this is the timing that I use for mine. But obviously, it's a personal preference. So people should use what they find is effective. But I find these session times really, really good. Because to me, I find London session ends when New York session traders come in. I know there's overlap, but now you've got a mix of sessions. So you'd almost treat the overlap as something distinct as well. If you had 5 sessions on here, but then you're getting too many colors, too many charts. So it's good to keep things relatively simple. It's complicated, but it's as least complicated as I can make it for myself. Okay, come on. If we can close inside of here, I'll actually add. So I have scaled out, but I'll look to re-add if I get another confirmation. But I'm very mindful of this being a fake out. And if you can preserve your capital, and if you can make sure that you last long enough in these charts, in these markets, to learn how they work and learn the price action, then that's really the best thing, because it's literally is about gaining experience. And if you can know you can come to the charts and you don't really put your capital at too much risk, then you can have a clearer mind as well to explore these ideas that you have. And these are just ideas. They're not all going to work out. You got to think, even the best traders, even if someone said that you got a 75% win rate, you're still wrong quarter of the time. And if you can't understand or can't learn how to manage your losses, then it only takes one of those 25% of your trades that just really kill your profits. Come on, break. Okay. 3-minute candle closed nice. This guy closed higher than these these necklines, but not above these wicks. US 30 is propping up DAX. Yeah, that's very highly correlated, because you've got, I mean, there's probably multiple reasons, but especially with NAS, US 30 to a degree, but NAS, where you've got a lot of, half of NAS is made up of just 7 companies. And of those 7 companies, SAP company is integrated into all of them. And SAP is the largest market cap by German in the German 40. So you can imagine that if these tech stocks continue to do well, SAP will continue to have a market as well. Yeah, a lot of the US, like S&P, is a lot of the same companies that are in NAS are in S&P 500. US 30 is a little bit more, a little bit less. But then in terms of like the other ones that are similar to German, you've got the European stocks 50, French 40, German 40. The difference between the stocks 50, German and French 40 is you don't have an Asian session. That's why I like the German 40. Is that it's the biggest. It's got the highest. It's the highest traded asset out of the European indices, so it's more liquid, and it's also got an Asian session. So you find French 40 doesn't have an Asian session. Just for this morning session, I'm trading the US 30. Yeah, I mean, if you can, price action is price action. End of the day, like I really don't mind what you trade, what anyone trades. The reason why I think it's good to trade one thing though is that it's hard to manage all your levels and zones on multiple things without updating them regularly. But if you've got a chart set up and you've spent some time analyzing it and seeing where it can go, then price action is price action. End of the day. These indexes, these follow. These are cash spot price that follows the actual index. So it means we can trade it. I mean, you could trade individual stocks, but then you need a broker. Don't I use order flow? Not really. Fine, order flow is not a well-defined concept. Come on, push. So we're finally broken that level. See, it just took time, didn't it? Took time to give in. Had to tap into this area multiple times, but as soon as we still couldn't even, if we got a nice closure inside of it, it's an easier trade. Closing just underneath it's a little bit annoying, but once it gives fast. Now I don't see why we can't continue up to pre-London from yesterday. for this Asian low area. I see this is the next area that we have a little bit of conflict. So another 10 pips, I should continue pushing. Annoying that it was basically as soon as I secured like 50% at this point, and then it pops. Just hesitated so often here. So anyway. Yeah, order block is another word for it, isn't it? Consolidation, order block. Do I like the Renko chart? No, I don't. I don't like Renko. Because Renko doesn't give you the proper price. If you sorry, no, I'm not thinking Renko. I'm thinking Heiken-Ashi. Yeah, Heiken-Ashi is the one that I don't like. I've never looked at Renko. Doesn't Renko just takes out the wicks, doesn't it? I don't know. But I find I was thinking Heiken-Ashi, because Heiken-Ashi is never actually. This is an average of the high and low in some calculation, but that's not actual spot price right now. That's why I find Heiken-Ashi. I don't like it, but there are people that love it. I'm not going to say any way is a bad way of trading. It's just whatever's the right way for you. If you like scalping, then I make my living from scalping. From swing trade, I don't do so many swing trades. I prefer to be in and out of the market. Sorry, creative view. At least isn't it more detailing, and you can know the aggressive sellers and buyers? What are you talking about? Order flow. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not too sure. I think we don't have the right information to really see the true order flow. We don't really get to see the footprint, the depth of market, the what's actually coming into the brokers, and all we can do is this is my take. All we can really see is price movement and what happens. We can't see when a big order comes into the market. We can see signs, we can see clues, but we can't actually see that. Oh, look, an order came in with this lot. So the brokers can, but we can't see it. So anything that trades order flow, I think, is just a price action based on what happens. And if you can get the same information by reading we get similar information from reading the candles, whether someone wants to call it order flow or someone wants to call it structure. Yeah, I don't really have a great answer for it. Cool. All right. Well, we made it. That was the target for the day. I was hoping this was going to be the higher low, but it failed to make the higher low. Price pulled back. Exactly what Glenn was saying. Euro 50%. Still held that bias. I'm on one that is very stiff on my bias. I don't like to change my bias. So we got a support created from lower. Nothing actually changed the structure of the market. It was still very much upside, and I had a longer term bullish bias. Just took a while to break down the orders that were in that order block. And then eventually when it popped, it was actually a really clean, fast move. Then it hit the next. This is the Asian low. This is our pre-London low from yesterday. And now we're seeing a reaction from there. So that was a reaction point. So cool. Yeah, like this is the thing, lead left hand. It's you will look at this and then it very much so can be scary to get back in or give it a second chance when it does look like this. But if we're looking at like the 30-minute chart, it really was just, it was a nasty pullback. We don't like seeing these pullbacks, but there's nothing really that changed the structure too much. Like the hour candles just look clean. Hour look candles with volume, it just looks like a deep pullback, but the market was trending higher. It just looks nasty on the low time frames, that if you can't visualize where you wanted to see the hour candles go to, then it's very easy to get lost and tied up on these low time frames and see this as something that's significant and change your bias. And people still would have been able to take a winning sell. This still moved down 50 pips. So it didn't matter the bias you had, whether it was bullish or bearish. The main thing was having a bias and then executing on something that lined up with your bias. If you're just waiting to see price action without a firm bias, you'll feel a lot of the time, I'm not speaking for everyone, but a lot of the time you'll just feel lost and confused, because you'll see everything. The way the human psychology is set up is that you're always fearful of things. So you're fearful of a loss. So even if you had a bullish bias, you're fearful of getting in case it loses, even though if you're, I'll just leave it there. You just stick with your bias, give it one or two shots. Price action, we can't make the market move when we want. A lot of the time it moves after we want. So it's about if we see signs like price had a chance to break up, and as it was pushing down, cut the trade because it had a chance to break higher. Gave an entry from lower down. That's still in line with the bias. If it was breaking under here, seeing an entry, then maybe I'd have a different. I'd just say my bias is wrong. I have to sit back and wait for a new idea. But that was the targets. The targets was a good session. I thought there was something for everyone. There's something 50 pips for sellers and 90 pips for buyers. Sorry, Glenn, I cut you off. Were you going to say something? Oh, I thought someone peeped up and as I was talking. Leave found I was contemplating take the bullish fair value gap, so I didn't. I got in when M5 closed above the high. Oh yeah, okay. I mean it can be scary buying when it's something's coming down, isn't it? It can be super scary. But some of the best trades are the ones that are hardest to get into, in terms of like you just feel like it's wrong. But that's what they want, It would be easy to look for sells when it was prices pushing down. And that's exactly what they want. That's the manipulation. They need to make. If it was just looking very easy for buyers, who are they going to sell? Who's going to take the other side of the trade? How will they get their fill? And nothing wrong with 1-to-1s. Nothing wrong with that at all. Sometimes the later entry gives you the most confirmation, but obviously you sacrifice risk reward. Cool. What's other comments? Do I know anything about dark pools? For him, right, is supposed to show the orders that have been placed and waiting. There's some indicators that are meant to show that, isn't there? But I think they can only get their data from certain places. I don't think it's like encapsulates the whole market. But yeah, I think when you can see, there are some ways to see orders coming in. In terms of like, especially how often price is repricing on the tick charts can give some clues. We can tell you something better than your eyes can, because it can read all these little micro moves. But same thing, the quality of the data that you're getting, I'm sure the brokers control a lot of it. So if it was so effective, there wouldn't be a market anymore. Cool. Alrighty. Well, I'm going to close the trading upside. I'm still going to continue on my channel for a bit longer. Okay, like a little bit longer. So channels HaydosFx on YouTube. Okay, I'm going to try plan a couple of little ideas to keep an eye on, but I'm basically done for this session. Okay, I'll plan some levels. Might have a look at gold chart quickly, and then I think we'll wrap things up. And then yeah, there's no New York session today, just London. All right, trading nut guys, thanks for your time. My YouTube channel, just stay on. We'll still talk about it a little bit more. Okay.